The galactic mockery. From the shadows of Earth to the throne of stars, our rise began with their laughter. The galactic conclave was a marvel of alien engineering, an orbiting citadel suspended in the heart of neutral space, its walls humming with energies older than Earth's recorded history. Thousands of species were represented within its colossal amphitheater, each cloaked in the airs of civilizations that had outlived stars. Humanity arrived as the newest guest, invited but not welcomed. Ambassador Nadia Ren strode into the chamber with practiced poise, flanked by Earth's delegation in sharp, dark blue suits. The Human Confederation had made its first official contact after activating their first faster-than-light drive, an event significant enough to warn an audience with the galaxy's rulers. The Zorathan Dominion, largest and oldest of the empires, dominated the assembly. Their nobles stood tall, adorned in shimmering golden carapaces, their six-limbed forms exuding pride older than Earth's continents. Lord Krail of the Zorathan High Court stepped forward. His voice slithered across the room like oil on glass. "So these are the apes," he said, loud enough for all to hear. Laughter echoed through the tiers, guttural, ultrasonic, chittering, clicking. Dozens of species joined in mockery. "Tell me, Earthling," Krail sneered, "did your kind build that crude vessel from sticks and fire?" Rin didn't flinch. "We built it from iron and blood, and we came in peace." "Peace," Krail repeated, amused. "Peace is what primitives beg for. The Conclave offers Earth protectorate status. You'll be allowed to keep your moon. In exchange, you'll provide resource tribute and personnel to assist civilized species." The offer was slavery in all but name. Behind Run, General Marcus Hale's jaw clenched. The humans had prepared for arrogance, but this level of contempt wasn't just political. It was personal. "We appreciate your concern," Rin replied, her voice cool and level. "But Earth declines." Silence fell like a blade. "You decline?" Krail hissed. "Yes," she said. "We may be young, but we are not weak." That broke the chamber's silence into louder, crueler laughter. "You're not weak," Krail repeated, turning to the crowd. "Tell me, what threat could your species possibly pose to the stars?" Rin only smiled. "Ask again in 10 years." As the human delegation departed under jeers and scorn, an older alien, one of the neutral Onkari, turned to his peer and whispered, "That one does not lie with words. That smile hides teeth." Back on Earth, deep beneath the Andes Mountains, Project Vanguard came online. Long before first contact, humanity had been listening, learning, scavenging crash probes, and decoding whispers from deep space. They had already begun building what the galaxy would one day fear. In the black void of Earth's orbit, dozens of hidden shipyards lit up, not with ceremony, but with intent. No longer a secret, no longer passive. Let them laugh, Rin thought, gazing at the stars. Let them mock our beginnings. They'll choke on their arrogance soon enough. Because they called us primitive. And they had no idea what that would cost them. War of the Shadows. They dismissed us as primitives. So we became phantoms in their systems and reapers in their skies. Commander Iko Voss stood alone on the edge of Earth's orbital shadow, watching through the viewport of the stealth frigate Obsidian Blade as a Zorathan patrol convoy passed through the asteroid belt. Their ships were majestic, sleek, and regal, bathed in the imperial gold and violet of the Dominion. Beautiful, arrogant, and completely blind. "They still haven't adapted their sensor arrays," said Ensign Khalid from the ops station behind her. "They think they're untouchable." Voss smiled thinly. "Good. Let them keep thinking that." She gave the order. 5 seconds later, the convoy vanished, erased from existence without a single warning flare. The Obsidian Blade's nanite torpedoes left no debris, no trace, just the cold silence of space. It was the third strike that month. While the Galactic Conclave continued to scoff at Earth's supposed inferiority, humanity had entered a different kind of war, a war of data, deception, and surgical destruction. Project Vanguard had flourished in the shadows, fed by humanity's finest minds and worst memories. From decades of cyber warfare, counterintelligence, and asymmetric combat, Earth had learned the true art of war: never fight fair. Officially, Earth still maintained a non-expansionist observation policy. Unofficially, Task Force Obsidian operated in every quadrant of the Zorathan Dominion. They weren't just attacking, they were learning. Human AIs, built from quantum weave processors and housed inside black site lunar vaults, mapped the Dominion's communications network and sliced through its encryption like scalpels through flesh. They watched fleet movements, intercepted noble communications, monitored every arrogance. Then came the asset flips. A high-ranking Zorathan logistics officer began leaking convoy schedules. His family had been relocated to Earth without a trace. A slave-race technician from the border colonies was extracted and given sanctuary, bringing blueprints of Imperial reactors with her. Every week, the Empire grew a little weaker, and Earth grew stronger. At Vanguard Command on Mars, General Marcus Hale reviewed a classified report. 12 convoys destroyed. 14 worlds destabilized. No enemy survivors. No traceable activity. He looked up at the Admiral. We're ghosts to them. No, sir, Voss said, freshly returned from a deep infiltration. We're their nightmares. Across Saturn's orbit, hidden inside the magnetic shadow of its rings, Earth's first Titan-class dreadnought came online. HSS Vengeance was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, layered in adaptive armor, cloaked in distortion fields, and armed with gravity-fold cannons capable of ripping a cruiser in half. The stars didn't notice her yet, but they would. One final act remained before humanity stepped into the light. Bring the Dominion's outer comm relay down, Hale ordered. Let them feel silence. Within hours, the largest communication array in the Zorathan sector blinked out, leaving dozens of systems deaf and blind. Across the stars, fear began to whisper. They still didn't know who was behind the strikes. But soon they would, and they would remember the name they once laughed at. Earth, the fall of thrones. They ruled with pride and fire. We answered with silence, and then with fury. The Zorathan Dominion's high command scrambled to assemble a response fleet after the latest communication blackout. Dozens of warships launched from Imperial shipyards, vessels the size of cities, adorned with banners of conquest. From their throne world of Sci-Fi, Lord Krail watched the mobilization with simmering rage. These cowards strike in the dark, he hissed. We will burn the shadows from the stars. But as his fleet prepared to deploy, something impossible happened. Every orbital defense platform around Sci-Fi powered down. The Dominion's entire planetary shield array flickered, then collapsed. And above the throne world, reality itself rippled. One by one, human ships decloaked. It wasn't just a fleet. It was a revelation. A wall of black metal vessels, shaped like blades, hammers, and storms. Their hulls shimmered with adaptive plating, pulsing like living skin. They weren't here to negotiate. At the head of the formation, the HSS Vengeance loomed, dwarfing even the Dominion's flagship. On its bridge, Admiral Iko Voss stood silent, eyes locked on the Zorathan capital spinning below. Broadcast, she ordered. Across every Dominion channel, a message cut through. This is Admiral Voss of the Human Confederation. Your empire has committed crimes across 10,000 worlds. You silenced the weak. You enslaved the helpless. You mocked us. She stepped forward, voice hardening. Now we speak for the stars you once ruled. Your throne is over. Then the bombardment began. Precision strikes only. Command towers, power nexuses, shipyards, all vaporized in calculated, silent flashes. Human ground forces dropped in orbital pods, thousands of them, wearing exosuits woven with nanofibers and AI-linked visors. The Zorathan resistance collapsed within hours. Their elite guard, trained over centuries, was outmatched by first-generation Terran shock troopers. Fast, ruthless, adaptable. Every squad had battlefield-integrated AIs analyzing enemy weaknesses in real time. For every human soldier lost, 10 Zorathans fell. By nightfall, the palace gates were breached. Lord Krail stood in his throne chamber, flanked by ceremonial guards. You dare, he growled, voice trembling. Admiral Voss entered, flanked by General Hale and a squad of Earth's finest. She surveyed the chamber of gold and arrogance without awe. We dared, she said, and now we're here. Krail lunged. Hale shot him in the leg. The alien crumpled to the floor, gasping. You're a primitive species, Krail spat. How did you? You built your empire on pride, Voss said. We built ours on necessity. You had time. We had pressure. You had tradition. We had innovation. You laughed while we prepared. She looked down at him. And now your throne belongs to Earth. That night, the Galactic Conclave watched in stunned silence as a live broadcast from Sci-Fi Prime played across every system. Lord Krail, bound in cuffs, was led through the capital by human soldiers. Behind him, Earth's flag fluttered alongside banners from liberated worlds. The message was clear. The age of the Dominion was over. The age of humanity had begun. We rule the stars. We were the outcasts, the mocked. Now we're the architects of a new galaxy. The capital world of Sci-Fi Prime was no longer bathed in the artificial golden light of the Zorathan Dominion. Its towers, once glimmering symbols of eternal rule, now pulsed with blue and silver lights, the colors of the unified Star Accord, humanity's newly formed galactic coalition. From orbit, the transformation was undeniable. The throne world had become Earth's diplomatic seat, its former imperial citadel now home to the Accord's council chambers. Dozens of species, once scattered and subjugated, now sent envoys, not in fear, but in fragile hope. In the central chamber, Ambassador Nadia Rin stood at the head of a massive glass platform overlooking the city. Behind her, species once enslaved by the Dominion sat beside human representatives. She raised a hand, silencing the room. No species, she said, will again be dismissed for its youth or origin. The stars belong to all who reach for them, not just those who claim them by conquest. The words were broadcast live to thousands of systems. Across the galaxy, the shock had turned to recalibration. The once feared empires now whispered among themselves, calculating how Earth had accomplished in a single generation what they had failed to do in 10,000 years. On Mars, inside the deep red domes of Vanguard Command, General Marcus Hale reviewed new fleet reports. 17 former Dominion sectors secured, his aides said. Local populations requesting infrastructure support. No uprisings. Human aid teams already on site. Hale nodded. Good. Keep the focus on stability, not conquest. We're not building an empire, we're building balance. In the secure holding cells beneath the Martian command center, Lord Krail sat alone. No throne, no crown, only silence. The once proud Zorathan, the noble now, stared through the reinforced glass as a human historian interviewed him for archival purposes. How did you miss our rise? The historian asked. Krail's eyes were hollow, but his voice still carried the weight of ancient regret. We didn't think you were capable, he said. We saw your savagery, your chaos, and thought it weakness. We didn't understand. Chaos was your crucible. Back in Earth's orbit, the HSS Dawnfire, the first Starborn-class diplomatic dreadnought, prepared to embark on a mission to mediate a peace treaty between two Outer Rim species still locked in feudal conflict. On its bridge, Admiral Voss stood silently, watching the stars flicker across the viewport. The galaxy had once denied Earth a seat at the table. Now, Earth was the table. She turned to her crew. Navigation. Locked in, Admiral. All systems green. Take us out. As the Dawnfire glided into the void, its engines left behind a trail of shimmering light, a signal to the stars that the age of isolation was over. The stars no longer belong to the arrogant. They belong to the bold, to the builders, to the dreamers, to humanity. Final transmission from Earth to the galaxy. You called us primitive. You mocked our struggle. You ruled with arrogance. Now we bring order to your chaos. We are humanity, and we rule the stars.